Hi.
Hello.
I want to talk today about a very serious subject,
Right.
and one that is close to my heart, and one that I've had to tackle and deal with many, many times in my career as I've gone forward. I'm going to talk suicide, which is very serious and not a subject talked a lot about.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
It is. It really is. I find, like many times, we found that transgender person who was trying to commit suicide once when we lived in Southampton.
Yeah.
And her problem was really that other people wouldn't accept her.
She thought, it was like she thought that it was like an imaginary enemy.
That's right.
Like that these people would kill her anyway, so she might as well
Kill herself.
kill herself.
Mm.
That was the crux of the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It was, and although for her that's a very specific problem,
Yeah.
when I talk to people who have either attempted suicide or thought about suicide, they all have a common point. And the common point is a dissatisfaction with themselves and a lack of value that they place on themselves. And a lot of the time, the problem isn't that they don't value themselves, it's that they don't feel others value them. And through that, they don't value themselves.
But is that because you're trying to live up to what you perceive other people want from you?
Exactly.
Right.
Or what other people expect. It's expectations when it comes down to it. Our booklet, the One Drop booklet,
Yeah.
Making Better Choices booklet,
Yeah.
that talks, with that 5-step plan, it talks about how to evaluate yourself first. And I find that with people who are considering suicide, they're not really seeing themselves for who and what they are. They're seeing themselves for who and what they think they should be, which is a different thing. And life can be crap sometimes.
Yeah.
It really can. We've been through it.
Everyone
does.
has, yeah.
Have I ever thought along those lines? Of course I have. I think most people would be lying if they say they haven't.
Yeah.
You know, but 99.9% of people never actually take it any further than thinking about it. And a lot of that is because they then evaluate who and what they are, what's around them, and what it actually means to commit suicide. There are no shortcuts.
No.
And suicide is not a shortcut. It doesn't solve anything.
Right.
My understanding, as you know, having died myself on several occasions, you don't die when you commit suicide. You still live. The
Right.
body you're inhabiting, that dies.
Yeah.
You don't.
So
The problems that you have, the problems you perceive, are made worse.
how?
Well, when you die, you are evaluated.
Right. Not judged.
Not judged.
Not
Judged is
judged.
a different thing altogether. You're not judged. There is no judgment where that's concerned. There is evaluation. And that in itself is karma in actually what it is. It's a question of putting you where you're comfortable, where you actually are.
Yeah.
There's no point in putting a thief in a sweet shop. He's just going to be tempted to steal more sweets. I know I was when I was this big, you know.
Yeah.
There from the tuck shop there would be a few extra sweets going in my pocket.
I'm sure.
I'm no saint. But the thing with evaluation is that you're on a cycle. So you're here to live, you're here to learn.
Yeah.
If you cut that short, all that will actually happen is you will come back into a cycle again, facing exactly the same problems and exactly the same perceptions that you had when you committed suicide.
Yeah, you're in the same spot.
You still have to past that spot. But the great thing is that when you come into this life, you're given everything you need to be able to overcome things.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it's there. And many times I say to people who get to a point of suicide, if you've come to a point of suicide, you're a really strong person.
Mm.
Because you've been put in a position where you're going to have to choose between ending your life or not ending your life. But you've got to a point where people, where you and people around you will see what you do. So you will have the strength. When you were born here, you had the strength to overcome the negative aspects of that decision.
Yeah.
You were never, ever put into this life lacking what you need in order to take from it what you should have. And suicide is never, ever an option in this life.
Mm.
Committing suicide is never, ever an option.
But that's a really, really hard, because the people who are at that point, life is so hard.
Yes, it is.
Life is so hard.
Yes, it is. You have to go back. If you've the strength to decide whether you live or die, that's not a weakness, it's a strength.
No, it's a strength.
If you've that strength inside you, you've also got the strength to find a way forward.
Mm.
You always do. In every decision you have, there are two options.
Yeah.
So if the decision is to end your life, you also have the option to make the decision to
Carry on.
your life.
Mm.
This one may seem more difficult, and this one seem easier.
Yeah.
It's not. It's far more difficult. A lot of the time people talk, if someone commits suicide, well, what about the family? What about the children? What about the people around you? What about people who love you? And that doesn't help the person who's committing suicide.
No.
Because they're not really thinking about anybody else but themselves at that point.
Mm.
They may think or be attached to something they've done to somebody else, something somebody else has perceived, something somebody else has said, or something that somebody else understands, but they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah, but often they say, like, people who are at the point of suicide or commit suicide, they're so selfish. But I don't see them as selfish, because if life is that hard for you, it's not a selfish thing.
No, and most suicidal people will tell you that it's not a selfish act.
It's often about to make someone else's life better.
Yes.
Like, everyone is better off without me.
Yes, that's often the case.
So it's like, I'm going to take this burden off their hands for the rest of their lives.
Yep, that's right. And it's actually that lack of kindness to themselves.
Yeah.
And they're actually looking at doing what they believe is a kindness to others.
Yeah.
And it never is.
No, of course not.
It never is. Because when you do that, whoever it is you're doing it for has to live with the fact.
Yeah, that they couldn't help you.
Yeah. So you don't help them.
No.
You make their life far, far worse.
Yeah.
Probably for the rest of their lives. They'll never, ever forget it.
Mm.
And whilst you, as a person who's committed suicide, you get evaluated, and you come back to face exactly the same problems again.
Mm. But that's a particular, like, that's the way we live. We believe that we are here to learn, and in order to learn, we live several life cycles.
Yes.
But there are people who believe that either there is nothing, once you die you're dead, or you only live once.
Yes, you do.
So what do you say to those people when they're at the same point?
Well, if they're at the same point, think again. If you only live once, what's the point in losing it all?
Yeah, true.
You know?
Mm.
What are you doing? Why are you losing it?
Mm.
If you only have this one chance to take the wonders that are available to you here, then don't lose it.
Yeah, but you won't perceive it as wonders at that point.
No, you won't. But you will if you stop and think
Right.
and evaluate.
Mm.
You will if you start again. When you get to a point of suicide, you should stop. Think.
Yeah.
Evaluate.
Mm.
Go back. And then see whether you make the same decision again. I bet you won't.
Mm.
When a person is thinking about suicide, often people say, oh, it's a cry for help. In many ways it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
there perceived by the person who's going through it that is so great.
Yeah.
They can't find a way past it.
No. No.
However, the people around them may be able to help them to find a way past it.
Yeah, because you get a different perspective on
That's
your
right.
problems.
So talk about it.
Mm.
Talk to the people around you.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
matter who they
Yeah, but
are.
that's really hard. Like
Reach out.
reaching out is the hard. Like you don't want to at that point because you're quite.
You're quite insular, right?
Yeah, you're quite. Yeah, you are in that little bubble
Yeah.
where there's just you and your
Yeah.
these problems you can't resolve.
Okay. I have a little checklist.
Yeah.
That might help.
Okay.
So you feel suicidal.
Yeah.
You've decided you're going to, not only do you feel suicidal, you're making plans to commit suicide. At that point, when you get to that point, as hard as it is, stop.
Yeah.
Don't do anything.
Okay.
Sit for maybe 2-3 hours. Okay? Don't think about it. Don't engage with it. Don't look at it. Don't do anything.
Right.
Sleep, watch the telly, listen to music, go for a walk, whatever you want to do, but don't engage with it for 2 or 3 hours. After you've done that, sit down and think to yourself, what will happen if I commit suicide?
Right.
And that's what will happen to you, what will happen to everything around you,
Yeah.
what will happen to people around you, what will happen to people who are engaged with you in one way, shape, form or another, or even people who are mildly engaged with you. What will happen? Look at it again. And then when you've done that, think, okay, why do I want to not be here?
Yeah.
What is it that I cannot overcome? List them.
Yeah.
Put them down. Have a look at them. And then look at each one
Yeah.
and see if there's a way forward. Even with one, it doesn't matter. When you have a log jam in a river, maybe 100 logs are blocking a river,
Yeah.
it only takes one to move,
To move.
for everything else to move too. So looking at that list that you've made, there will be one log you can move.
Right.
And if there's one log you can move, you should do it. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your life, and you owe it to everybody who's attached to you. You don't deserve to do that to yourself.
Yeah.
So when you've done that, I think at that time you'll find a way forward. A little bit. It doesn't matter how much it is. Try it and see what happens. And then reevaluate again. And keep doing that. That tends to work.
And on the final note, this is all good and well. It's a very, should I say, it's a very adult way of reasoning.
Yes, it is.
But what do you do with a teenager? What do you do, who has it's body issues or bullying
Yeah.
or,
The same thing The same thing works. Evaluation works. If it's coming from outside, it's not you.
No.
So why are you going to take your life? And 9 times out of 10, it's coming from outside. It's
Yeah.
coming from a bully. It's
Yeah,
coming
because
from
that's
media.
Yeah, that's what happened with that girl we saw.
Yes, it is.
She was a teenager, and that was all perceived
Yes,
pressure from another source that wasn't even real.
exactly. And it was that evaluation that we went through with her while
Yeah.
she was sat there with the knife
Yeah.
that stopped her from doing it.
Yes.
That's exactly what worked. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't think she'd be here now. She is, because she evaluated. And she found that what she was actually looking at, what she actually perceived, was false.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
very
what
much so.
she actually was, who she actually was fine. So
Yeah.
why would she end that? And it's that works. It's a very, very complicated
Yeah.
subject, suicide.
Yeah. Yes.
And even what we've talked about here won't fit everybody.
No.
But it will fit most people. Stop. Disengage. Take some time. Reevaluate. Then find where the log is you need to shift. There will be one.
Yeah. Of course
There's
there will.
always at least one. You owe it to you to shift it and see whether things change.
Yeah.
Reevaluate. That's what I've got to say about this.
Thank you. And if you find yourself affected from this topic, you can always talk to us. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, through our website. Send us an email. Whatever you need to do, we will answer.
Always talk. Never ever keep it to yourself. There are dozens, wherever it is you're seeing this, there will be charities, there will be helplines, there will be people. Talk, communicate. Don't isolate, communicate. And that's what I have to say. If you're in this situation, talk to us. Anybody, but talk. Hopefully this will help people who need it, and if it does, bless you for that. We'll speak to you again. Goodbye.
Bye.